Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to go through a bunch of results over the past weekend. We had the WCC VGCS here in Perth, as well as a bunch of Japanese results, WGP Singapore, Korea, and Osaka, as well as BCS Mexico to go through. If you guys need any coaching, feel free to hit me up on my Metafy. Link is in the bottom right hand corner and in the description. Feel free to book a session and we can get started. If you guys haven't done it already, click that subscribe button for all notifications on new videos that I release on this channel. So looking at the WCC VGCS Perth, big shout out to Fuzzy for covering this. This is actually a pretty good indication for you guys, and I think it was, I guess, in my best interest to kind of show you what differences the meta will be with the ban list in place. And obviously, you know, BCS Singapore, California's coming up, Melbourne's coming up. This VGCS implemented the new ban list with the choice restriction on Wilista, well, you know, Elvira and Valshablan, as well as Sterna to 1, as well as the unrestriction to Eva. And this is our top 8. So we have 3 Orphist Mask, 1 Gandeeva, 1 Wilista, 1 Jet, Messiah, and Overlord. So this shows that the ban list doesn't completely annihilate Gandeeva and Wilista, but it does also open up more, I guess, opportunity for other decks to kind of come in, right? Your Overlords, your Messiahs, your Jet has always been there, and Orphis is, I guess, the big deck to beat now. It's, I guess, you know, one of the strongest decks in the metagame, and probably the strongest deck once, you know, the standard format alters a little bit, right? Then looking at the top 4, so first place was Raiden with Orphis Mask, second was Sean with Orphis Mask as well. Third was Jin with Jet, and Wayne coming forth with Overlord. So again, a lot of the distribution comes down to Orphis Mask. I think Orphis Mask is a very, very strong deck. I will be covering it in a comprehensive guide very soon. But yeah, a very, very strong deck. A very cool deck as well. Daisuke Uzuka is the artist for Orphis Mask, and you know, his art is always, you know, absolute banger, right? And just to show that Jet is still a formidable deck in the metagame at the moment, so might be, you know, people bring Jet and, you know, just win with it. Then looking at the WGP that happened in Singapore, 5 MyGo. This is the biggest hot topic at the moment. A lot of people are like, oh yeah, you know, if MyGo goes, you know, it's gonna be like a really good meta. The thing is that it's in Bushiroad's best interest to kind of give these collab, I guess, decks some sort of formidable performance, so to say, right? If these decks are garbage, no one's gonna buy them, right? So MyGo is, you know, obviously a collab set, and you know, those competitive players who want to play MyGo and, you know, play the best deck, they will go for the best deck. Not only that, but the deck is cheap, it's accessible, it's really, really strong, right? So in the competitive metagame, this is what you expect to see. And you know, for Bushiroad's side, it's a good thing, because you know, that's how, like, you know, they start to get people into the game. It's a cheap entry point. You know, it's not like, you know, the IPs of Vanguard, right? It's IPs of other, you know, entities, right? And in this case, obviously Bang Dream. So it's a good way to get people in, but also you gotta look at it from both sides, right? So competitively, yes, it may be a problem, but then again, how is Vanguard going to expand without, you know, these decks or these collab sets bringing in people, right? So it kind of trades off. But you know, MyGo, we had this discussion before with Gandeeva. We also had this discussion back with Jet. You know, ban this, ban that. You know, then the format will be good. Well, the reality is the format will change as long as new sets release, and you know, power creep comes in, but not enough to completely tear apart all decks, right? As you can see, Morphonica is still good. Youthberg and Fordia, you know, still decks that, I guess, compete and still get spots, right? Then the top 4, again, you know, not completely dominated by MyGos. 2 MyGos, first and second. Third was Morphonica, and fourth was Youthberg. So just shows an indication that, you know, not all decks are completely obliterated by MyGo. It is still a beatable deck, and let's be real, just get good. Let's just put it at that. Let's just get good, all right? Well, then we look at WGP Korea, kind of the same thing for MyGo. 2 Shiranui, which is the new strat deck set. So this is the first top for Shiranui, and we can see that it's already making an impact. 1 Jejuled and 1 Leonord. Then the top 4, again, you know, MyGo is still beatable. MyGo coming first, second was Leonord, third was MyGo, fourth is Shiranui. right? So these decks, you know, still formidable, still good, and it's not like MyGo is absolutely, you know, destroying all of these decks, because these decks still obviously have a chance, right? Then jumping to WGP Osaka Block A, so obviously everyone knows MyGo is the big deck, but then there's still like, you know, a huge chunk of everything else, right? 6 Youthbergs, 6 Shiranui, 4 Luards, and 3 Juju, Leonon, and just a bunch of other stuff, right? Obviously diversity card definitely plays a part in this, but funnily enough, the first place had no MyGo. The first place team had Juju, Youthberg, and Shiranui. Second was Youthberg, MyGo, and Prism, so Labrador. Third was Messiah, MyGo, and Luard. And then fourth was Luard, Minerva, and Shiranui. So yeah, very, very broad, or I guess diverse, because of the diversity cut, obviously. But not for all teams, right? Obviously, these MyGo teams would be playing, you know, in a pair with, I guess, non-meta decks, because of, well, not non-meta decks, but non-popular decks, so that, you know, they have a better chance of diversity card, right? But that's not to say like these decks, these teams would not be bringing, like, I don't know, Leonon and Youthberg, right? They may have, you know, just been really unlucky in teams and, you know, scrubbed out of top 8 and didn't make it to top 4, and that's just how it is, right? So yeah, very, very cool to see. Then looking at Block B, again, a lot of MyGo, probably the best deck in Japan at the moment. But, you know, tacked along with Youthberg, Luard, Shiranui, Juju, and Morphonica. You know, these decks are really good. Then looking at the top 4 teams. So the first team was a Shiranui, Bastion Accord, and Juju. Second was Leonon, MyGo, and Morphonica. Third was a Magnolia Mask, Jeva and Morphonica, and in fourth place was Juju, Shiranui, and Zorga Mask. Lots of diversity, lots of different type of decks, all available for you if you guys check Fuzzy's infographics on Twitter or on his website. You will have access to the Japanese deck log links as well. Definitely highly recommend you guys take a look at this, because obviously a lot of these decks will be coming out in English, and this is just a way to show you guys how to build these decks. Then jumping to BCS Mexico, this is where the spice comes in. So 3 Gandeeva, 2 Chrono Jet just before the ban list takes effect, 1 Wilista, 1 Ezel, my goodness, and 1 lone ROROWA. Wow, ROROWA. And then look at this. First place was the ROROWA. My goodness, congratulations to Gustavo. They are the man, the person, the ROROWA. My goodness, this is how it is. Absolutely awesome to see this. And to be honest, this just shows that if you invest enough time in a deck that not a lot of people, I guess, invest in, you actually know how to play into, you know, other meta decks, right? For example, I chose Greedon to go into a meta where Gandeeva and Wilista are prominent, right? And with that deck, it's not the best deck, right? But I know how to play into the matchups, and I know how to make it so that, you know, I obviously have the high advantage, like versus these decks going first, going second, right? Same kind of applies here. Obviously, it's drastically weaker than Greedon, or maybe I'm just coping and not giving like ROROWA enough respect. But yeah, exact same. Put in the work, know your matchups, and sometimes it rewards you. So congratulations. Second was Gandeeva, third was Wilista, and fourth was Gandeeva. So congratulations to all of the players here. Very cool to see ROROWA come first. All the deck log codes are there for you guys to see as well. Then looking at V Premium, we don't have the top 8 distribution, but first place was Tharvis, so Daniel Herrera, the previous world champion back in 2017. Second was Highlander, third was Raging Form Dragon, and then fourth was Night Rose. Night Rose seems to be a deck that, you know, obviously is popping up a lot, and I think it's a very formidable pick into V. But yeah, very surprising to see Raging Form here and beating out a Protect deck as well. Very, very cool to see. So yeah, that is the top 4 for V. Then looking at Premium, so we have 2 Narukami, 2 Bermuda Triangle, both were Highlander, so no loops here. 1 Neonectar, 1 Shiranui, 1 Meg Colony, 1 Grand Blue. All of these decks, very formidable decks in the format at the moment. I think a lot of these decks, if the loop wasn't there, we'd be in a pretty good position at the moment, and you know, in a very, very good format. Then looking at the top 4, first place was taken by Neonectar. This is, I think, the third Neonectar first place for premium. I think the first 2 was Louis and Johan, and then now Louis. It also came first, you know. So Neonectar seems like this new deck that a lot of people are, you know, catching on to, and maybe something to look forward to at the World Finals as well. Second place was Shiranui, third was Gridora, and then fourth place was Narukami. So very cool to see these premium results. It's not completely flooded with Eradicators, and you know, Vanquisher Erads might just be at the end of its time. And obviously with the restrictions coming in very, very soon with the Demolition Dragon and Sweep Command, this might just kind of alter Erads a bit, and you know, we'll see a little bit more innovation come the next coming weeks. So yeah, very excited to see what's gonna come about from this. So if you guys like these, you know, results, let me know down in the comments what you guys think. I think, you know, Neonectar is just this deck that no one has really fully explored yet. Obviously, other than the people who have come first place in 3 different regionals as of recent, right? But very interested to see how premium just kind of evolves. You know, come BRO. BRO, I think, is this weekend for premium. And then as well, we have BCS Singapore, California, and I think London's still left, I think, and then Melbourne as well the next week. So really, really keen to see what comes about and, you know, what results we'll get in 1 to 2 weeks time. And yeah, if you guys haven't done it already, click that like button, subscribe to this channel, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.